Welcome back to the channel. This is what we're doing today, another thrift store makeover. I know it's your least favorite, you wish it was just all squishy makeovers all the time. This is my most favorite. Doing thrift store makeovers makes me feel like I have taken a piece of garbage that someone didn't want and made it into something fantastic that I want. Whether or not anyone else wants it is inconsequential because I have a lot of fun making them beautiful again. So let's get into it. So this guy's seen better days. There are pieces right there where water got underneath the paint and just like swole up. I don't even know what you do for that besides just put a new piece on. It's so gigantic that you're seeing unknown parts of the filming studio that I normally try to keep.
Don't look there. Don't look to the left.
Just kidding. My house is your house. You can see all the dirty parts, just like this guy. So let's get some wipes and clean this thing up. Look how dusty it is. It's immediately shinier.
I mean, everything wet is shiny, but
The dirt is gone. Gotta get all these
cracks.
I do really love this black though. I initially thought I would keep the black and maybe just touch up all the parts where it was ripped and scratched and the wood was ballooning, but then I thought that might not be too much of a makeover. What if I just pick a different color that is in the same mood as black and then did some black stuff on top of it? Would that look cool? All the research I did said no, it wouldn't look cool, so I picked some other colors besides black to put on top, but black is still there too. Alright, step one in a makeover is choose your color so that the item that you have starts to look like something inappropriate. This gold is doing a great job covering this black. Let me just put an areola right there. Nice. We need one on this side too. It's easy to do it. You just spray paint way too close. And yep, this looks like a nice set. Perfect. Great. Now that there's no way I can fix that, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the bigger piece. We're definitely not gonna learn from our mistakes and make sure we spray really close so that we're making lines and swirls that we're gonna have to incorporate into our design because there's no way to make them look right. I don't know if this has become obvious to anyone, but I don't do a whole lot of spray painting. I'd love to be one of those people who does spray paint art, but I don't know how these things work. I do know now that you cannot spray paint this close because it comes out too wet and makes lines. You gotta spray paint further away.
Why?
Look at that, awful. You have to spray paint further away and just put layers, I'm guessing, so that it covers it the way you want it to, but you can't spray it this close. Alright, enough of that. Let's get to the decorating part. Ooh, the light is kind of working against me, but the Poscas are showing up. This was very hard to film and do at the same time. I found a little friend hitchhiking. I mean, he's totally got the colors and the vibe down. Hey, little spider. Are you alive? I know you are because I just took you off the outside of this thing. Anyway, let's get back to work here. We've got one side done. Time to do the other side. And now we go from the top front to the top left. I'm having a really hard time staying on the lines with my Posca because I'm doing this kind of easel style where it's like straight up and down and I can't rest my hand. I never knew I needed my hand to be flat to draw straight lines, but I guess I do. This is one of those Ouija board things. Did you know they have their own names? No, I didn't either. Apparently they're called a planchette. A small, heart-shaped piece of wood or plastic as a movable indicator to spell out messages during a seance. I didn't even know they had to be heart-shaped. I wonder why that is. I'm gonna have to look that up too. Oh, this marker's not working. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it filming while I'm looking for the new marker, and then not film any of the part where I'm actually drawing because I thought that I had turned it off when I looked for the new marker. Fascinating story, I know. But you didn't miss out on much, just me drawing the skeleton hand. And the skeleton hand is here because I don't know if you noticed when I was doing the spray paint, but it made like a hand shape, all my terrible spray painting. So I didn't even have to decide what to do here because I had already messed up enough that it had made a hand shape. And I was like, well, I'll just do that. So I'm going over this with the dark purple. That light purple didn't work at all. Some of these little tiny Poscas with the little points, they just don't work great. And now I'm getting ready to smear all the paint that I just did. Well, maybe not this time. Ooh, let's just enjoy the best color going on so smoothly. And fixing up places where my arm ripped off the paint. Perfect. Back to the planchette. This yellow, I hated. It didn't go on very well. It made a huge mess. You're gonna see me struggle with this yellow for this entire project. I'm going to, fill this whole thing in because I keep making it worse, and that looks like a 4-year-old colored that in. Ugh. Now we're getting it to flow a little bit better, but it's still... Make sure and write in the comments if you know what animated character makes that sound when they are feeling anxious. Don't let the juiciness of this yellow fool you. It's gonna go on really well like this. Oh God, straight lines. And now it's thicker and past the, oh, okay. See what I mean? Yellow. Sometimes when I'm editing, I wish I could just talk to my past self and be like, bro, just walk away, fix it when it's dry. Don't mess with it when it's wet, it's just gonna get bad. So this left side piece has this whole bottom area too. I'm just gonna make this little pink fern that matches the front. And I might do, I don't know, like one little sparkle star right here that you're not gonna be able to see because my camera is fascinated with the crust on the ledge. Oh, good, because then you'd see how terribly I'm messing up these lines. Oh, now you focus. So there's more to be done on the bottom, but I'll come back to that later. Skipping over to the other side, we're going to attempt to draw some lines right out of frame. Oh, look, you can see the kitties back there. There's a lot of spoilers in this video, so hopefully you've watched all the ones that came before this one because all the end products are popping up behind the scenes. Of course, we got to put some pink ferns on this side too so they can all combine together, have some sort of semblance. What the flip is that word that makes them all go together? I cannot remember. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, the little thin Poscas being transparent as usual. This one, it's kicked into action. Here I'm dipping it in its own blood to make this work. I've pushed it down into a puddle off screen and now I have to dip it to make it work. I guess that's on theme with this little cabinet of curiosities that I would have to
use the Posca's own blood
to make it work.
Admittedly, I don't know what this double... Oh look, there's the cat from the other video. It's... No, spoilers. I don't know what this triangle on top of a triangle symbolizes. I just liked the way that it looked when I was doing my research for what kind of symbolism to put on this. I probably should have looked it up so I could tell you guys. If you know, put it in the comments. I was basically just a sucker for anything that looked like it had some sparkly stars, shimmer, magic. Like, what are these? They're not really stars. Further down, we're gonna use the black again on the same side to to outline the snake. I could not see anything because of the reflection, so I'm just kind of drawing where I think the lines went. I couldn't even see. I was like, it's fine. I'll just erase whatever I didn't hit when I'm done. And on the very bottom of this side, there is a cat. And I ended up feeling like this, oh, the Posca just broke. Maybe that was why, but I didn't like this cat very much, but I've already drawn it on. I guess I could have just wiped it with water. That was working pretty well. So now this poorly drawn snake is going to get some decoration. This is kind of like a constellation pattern, sort of, only it's just like the snake backbone. I saw this in my research, thought it was super cute. I can't take credit for this design. I mean, the snake is my poorly drawn snake, but the dots with the sparkles I had seen somewhere. I thought it looked really cute.
Oh my god, she's totally ripping off somebody else's art.
No, just using things for inspiration. I mean, nobody patented the stars, and in fact, the stars from my research looked way better than these. I just don't know how they did it. It seems like it would be easy, but when I tried it looked like... Speaking of... Back to this problematic cat. I was trying to keep it simple, but... So this is what it looks like now. This side is done. I really intended on putting like stuff everywhere on every side, but this is all I could do, guys. Thank goodness this is looking more like a drawer with some knobs instead of something inappropriate. Here we go with the yellow again. Don't get me wrong, I like the color yellow as evidenced by my shirt peeking in the frame. It's just these Poscas, and I am impatient, so instead of coming back and going over it again, I like to just keep messing with it. These have absolutely no purpose. They're just a color splash. I really like that fluorescent pink color, as you guys probably remember. So all the moons are going to be pink because obviously we're not going to do this yellow again anymore if we can help it. I mean, the other knob is going to have yellow on it, but all these moons are pink moons. Why? Because I like it. Since that little yellow was so light, I thought I might use this big fat one, and looking at it now in editing, it doesn't look that bad to me, but I guess it didn't match the sun next to it, and I wouldn't have been able to use that one, that big fat one on the sun, so I erased it with water, came back and drew some more bad lines. At least one of you is thinking, you know, you could use like a cup or something round, excuse me, to make your lines so that they're straight and symmetrical and they're all over the place. Guess what? I did use that. It's just my really bad line drawing and not being able to put my hand down because all the stuff is wet. I still messed up all this paint, just moving forward by putting my hands in the paint. Really went for it with these stars and sparkles. I mean, I don't know if they're stars or sparkles. Maybe they're both. They're magic star sparkles. Now we're getting into the hands finally, because I felt like that was looking gross. You can't even see the hand on the left drawer because of the shine of the gold. But you're gonna see it now. I thought the purple was a really perfect complement to this fluorescent pink, the yellow, the white. I thought all these colors went really well together, and with the gold. I originally, like I said before, was going to do all this stuff black, but from what I saw, I was like, ugh, it might be a little too dark. We might need to do something lighter. Up here are some crystals. I guess amethyst is purple. I don't know what other kind of crystals they are. If you know what amethyst is supposed to represent, put it in the comments. Educate me. Now I'm just going to go through this entire place. You're not going to have to watch all this, just this first part. I'm going to erase all the lines, all the evidence that I didn't make it, with the Poscas on these lines. And I will also touch up this yellow because, man, it is not very visible. The yellow, why? Back to the bottom of this side to finish this Luna moth. I've gotten some courage after doing that front drawer to come back to this. We need pink ferns
For cohesiveness.
Yes, that's the word. I put some pink on the antenna going over this one so it'll be a little bit darker. I don't know why sometimes these Poscas work better than others. Yep, forgot to film putting the black part on, but that's okay. That's we don't have to film everything. That would be boring, right? I found the good white, came back, put some white on here. Even though I am making a real effort to move away from realism, I just really liked how pretty these colors for the Luna moth are. I didn't want to make the design quite as simple as a lot of the other stuff on this
Cabinet of Curiosities.
I was super worried that this greenish, minty-ish color would not go great with the gold and the pink and the white, but dude, look at this. It's actually really, really pretty, and I'm kind of sad that this is the only place where I put it. I just didn't think of it. I was trying to keep the colors down to just a handful of them so that everything would work well together, but this, there should have been more of this. Finishing touches on this Luna moth. It was really hard for me not to color this thing in with that green. And I went back to the snake. That side it just looked too naked. So I'm gonna put some of this crystally purple over here.
Amethyst.
Or whatever kind of other purple crystals. I feel like I looked into purple crystals for a different art project. Oh no, it was pink crystals because of that pink squishy. Spoiler alert, there was a pink squishy in a previous video, so I haven't looked up the purple crystals yet. A little mood music for our final look at this cabinet of curiosities. Let's see it in action. Ooh.
Spooky.
I know all of these drawings are a little bit mediocre, but can I share a secret with you? I actually prefer to watch people doing art that isn't like mind-blowing because then it inspires me to do my own art, right? That's why I started doing this, because I was like, oh, I love watching this. I'm gonna make my own art. I'm gonna force myself to finish things, and that's how this stuff has come about. So yeah, you could draw this, and I want you to. Everybody should be doing art. I have watched some people do their art on these kind of channels, and it's just amazing, and wow, they do such a great job. But I can tell you that does not inspire me. That discourages me, because I'm like, oh, I can't draw anything that fantastic. That being said, I really love the way this turned out. It turned out better than I thought it would. And now, since you watched the whole thing, it's time for your treat.